Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to this session. My name is Margaret Francis. I'm a Director of Product Management at Heroku, and I'm very happy to have with us a number of platform customers from Forever Living. So they're going to give the bulk of this presentation, and I'm mostly here as their presentation support person. So I'll let them introduce themselves, starting with Andrew.
Andrew O'Hare, VP of Digital Technologies.
I'm Seth Winters, Director of Digital Technologies.
Raj Bhatt, and I am the Senior Salesforce Admin.
I would absolutely love for you, Andrew, to tell us a little bit about Forever Living, because I bet there are a lot of people here who are not as familiar with the company as I now am.
I'm going to stand if that's okay. Thank you, everyone, for coming. It's been a great week for me at Dreamforce to be able to learn and to gain a little knowledge and inspiration along the way, and I hope myself and the team will be able to inspire you maybe in your businesses to perhaps leapfrog a few technologies as Forever Living's been able to do. Forever Living is a 36-year-old company. We are based in Scottsdale, Arizona on a beautiful golf course just at the foot of Camelback Mountain. And we are a multi-level marketing company, and we're in about 150 countries, but I'll just go through kind of who we are at our core. We're the largest grower of aloe vera in the world. We have beautiful plantations in the Dominican Republic, literally with aloe as far as the eye can see, every which way, and we employ thousands of workers there who harvest our aloe. And we ship that raw material, the filleted aloe, to our manufacturing facility in Dallas, where we make, between Dallas and a couple of other facilities of ours, about 300 products. With our number one product, you can see there, it's our aloe vera gel, which is a pure aloe that is a drink. It doesn't taste amazing, but it's by far the most popular product in the world, and we're very proud of that product. We also make, my personal favorite, aloe lips, shampoos, nutraceuticals, powders, protein powders, Arctic Sea, our Omega product, and we ship that product literally all over the world. And we distribute the product through a network of independent business owners. We call them Forever Business Owners, who can retail the product to friends, family, their family, neighbors, whoever it might be, product demonstrations, and critically, through their online presence, through the sites which Seth and Raj have been able to help get up and running. And we're literally, if you think of a country, Forever Living is most probably doing business from Azerbaijan to Democratic Republic of Congo, Taiwan, literally you name it. UK, which is our number one country, has really exploded for us in the last year or so, and incidentally, they're our biggest user of the platform, which we're here to talk to you about, and it's a new achievement for them, which we're very proud of, something that they've never been able to achieve before. So, as I say, we're doing business in 150 countries, and now these business owners are able to also sign other people up underneath them to conduct the business, and then they're able to achieve levels within our marketing plan and achieve sales levels that qualify them for incentives, including world travel. I was in Singapore in April of this year, where we literally rented about 2/3 of the beautiful Sands Hotel. We had a fantastic party for about 10 days. Next week I'll be in Cancun supporting another event. And really these qualifications and the sales levels literally life-changing for our business owners. And just to get a little bit more into the complexity of our business and sort of the unique challenge that we faced being an older company, in about 2012 we took on the initiative of what we call Going Global, where we made incentives now globally available, and that created excitement on the part of our business owners to grow their business in some of our hotter markets, the UK, Nigeria, Australia. Literally, they could have a business wherever they are in the world. So let's take John here, for example. He's a Brazilian business owner. he can now sign up business owners over the world. Here's one here that he's signed up in Norway. He's excited about that. He wants his new business owner to achieve new levels and to communicate with that business owner. Now, overnight, due to our great SEO, or search engine optimization, he's made a sale of product in San Francisco. And he's excited about that because it's put him close to achieving an incentive. Now, with all this good activity, he has a new manager that's just broken in Australia, and that's pushed John up to a new level. Now, all of these people that John's able to sign up, they're also, again, able to sign people up, which creates a lot of complexity and events that are carrying on literally a minute-by-minute basis, separate downlines in every country, and events going on all over the place. And then there's the incentive tracking. This is near and dear to John's heart. He's never traveled the world, and he doesn't want to miss out on some of the fantastic trips. And if he can just have that information on any given day, in any given moment, to perhaps make a phone call or send an email to say, hey, you're close to achieving this, it can really help him grow and attain new levels in his business. Now, as I said, we're not a spring chicken. You know, we have a lot of technical debt, back-end AS400 system, and it was quite a leap for us to get to where we're at right now. We have 61 legacy mainframe systems with about 32 million annual orders, and we're syncing, again, with all of these events, about 22 million rows of data daily. And we were presented with a unique challenge by our executive team that they wanted to create a tool that would help simplify this new worldwide initiative for our forever business owners. That, at its core, would include our data, which is very voluminous, I guess the word is, and literally hundreds of million rows of data, and to help make sense of that, to make something very complex simple. Then we wanted to have a very robust CRM system to help our business owners move people through, you know, generally interested, I've left a lead on the site, right on through to becoming a business owner, or to perhaps buy product. You know, not everybody who's involved with Forever becomes a distributor. You know, we have many happy retailers or people buying retail our products throughout the world. And we wanted to have a public face for the business owners, sites where they could send people. My personal site, andrew.flp.com. They can have up to 4 websites where they can sell their product, they can invite people to join their business, or they can leave a lead where that goes right into our CRM product. About November time, we started having these conversations of 2013. We weren't sure, quite honestly, that it was possible. I'd been to a Dreamforce or 2, kind of drunk the Kool-Aid a little bit, and thought, well, maybe let's give Salesforce a try. And we took a trip out to the Heroku offices, and if you do nothing else, when you're engaging with Salesforce, you've got to visit the Heroku offices.
You're all invited.
Yeah, they're amazing. Any type of tea, coffee, beef jerky. I felt that our offices in Scottsdale weren't so exciting anymore. But we had a fantastic 2 days with our partners, Groundswell, the Heroku team, and many from the Salesforce group, where we really solutioned out what it was that we wanted to create. And we signed our contract on January 31st. We went from 10 licenses to well over 10,000, literally overnight. We were committed, and it was a very nerve-wracking time, but a very unique time where the team, we felt like entrepreneurs. It was very exciting. We were able to help take our business to the next level. And we had a pending event. Here you see the O2 Arena. We had 20,000 people coming from all over the world, and I was due to present and release our new product. And we were able to pull it off. And in historic terms, we typically would go from country to country rolling out our technology, and sometimes we'd never make it because new initiatives, new priorities would come. And I would say that our home office technology team weren't always the most popular in terms of, you know, being able to roll out. We didn't have the best of reputations, but it was a very proud moment to release in 46 countries in 31 languages on day 1 on the stage in the O2 Arena. And within a couple of months, we were able to release to 150 countries. And now we're approaching the 15,000 user base. As I mentioned, we released in UK. They took it by storm, the new FLP 360 product. It's our number one country by several orders of magnitude. They're doing fantastic, and I would like to, our product that we've built on the Salesforce platform, to take some credit for that. So without further ado, we'll get a little bit under the hood. We have a video that we showed on launch day that we're going to go through, and then Seth's going to take it from there.
What do you want out of an online business tool? Everything. You want it to help you connect, to collaborate, to communicate, to imagine, to dream, and to succeed. Introducing FLP 360. FLP 360 is the new online suite that has everything you need to manage and grow your business, including an extensive personal back office with calendars, reports, contacts, reminders, email, and more. A robust customer relationship management system, and a platform for you to build and host your own websites. All built on the Salesforce.com and Google platforms, giving you rock-solid performance and access to your tools and business-building information wherever and whenever you need it, allowing you to see the big picture and drill down into the details. Want the full view of your business? The new downline map allows you to visualize and explore exactly what's happening with everyone in your entire downline across the world. With all of this information at your fingertips, you can manage your prospects, contacts, and customers like never before, helping you make sure nothing ever falls through the cracks. With your new FLP.com websites, not only can you present an incredibly professional face to the online world, but you'll be able to collect leads that will go directly into your FLP 360 portal. And all customers that are referred to foreverliving.com from your site who buy product or join as a distributor will be tracked and credited to you. Additional features of FLP 360 allow you to connect and dream with your team in easy and creative ways. What is your why? Dreambook helps you dream big, allowing you to utilize Pinterest right from your dashboard. Chatter gives you a social media experience with your Forever network, allowing you to communicate with your upline, downline, or any other group. Plan meetings, ask advice, share ideas. It's social collaboration for your business. You can also harness the power of Google Hangouts for instant messaging, video chat, and screen sharing with people around the world. And you'll even have 30 gigs of storage so you can keep all your stuff in one place. So, if you want to know how many new supervisors you have in France, set the location of this week's team meeting, check in face-to-face with Matteo in Argentina, see your global top non-manager CC volume so you can put those legs to work. Send Joan an email with your new @flp.com email address. In short, be connected with all of your data, colleagues, customers, and leads all in one place. You now have the full 360-degree view. Everything. FLP 360. Ignite your biz today.
We're obviously super honored that you chose to use our technology to power your business so intimately. And Seth, I'm hoping you will tell us a little bit more about how you did it.
Yeah, absolutely. Excuse me. I'm going to stand up here as well. So Forever Living is a 36-year-old company, and we had legacy mainframe systems. And back when we started, it was basically a person-to-person business. I met you, I told you about the product, and then I sold you the product. It was completely done in an offline manner. The only technology they used was a mainframe in every country that ran bonuses once a month. And that worked great during the 70s and 80s. That let Forever Living have explosive growth and grow. But fast forward to modern times, and that doesn't work. Nothing's connected, nothing's working, but we're still saddled with the same legacy systems we had back in the 70s. So yeah, they're a little more connected and they're a little bit better off, but at the same time, we're still hampered by this. When we're trying to roll out our new products, before it was taking them a decade to roll out a new tool to the 150 different countries around the world. By the time they roll it out, the software is out of date, the design is dated, the technology they use needs to be redone. So they're constantly redoing and redoing the same tools over and over again. We had to find a different way to do it. Part of the challenge with FLP 360 is, hey, how can we release this in 150 different countries in about 3 months? So we had to really change the paradigm, kind of what we were thinking about, and really change how we're going to do it to really achieve it. And that's what we did with FLP 360. That's something that's never been done before at Forever Living. And because of our relationship with Salesforce and Heroku to get it done, we were able to achieve it. If we were trying to build it, and I'm going to go here to the next slide here, and kind of FLP 360 under the hood. And we had to change our approach. As you see, there's a lot of different technologies up here. Most of them you're probably very familiar with. And in the olden days, Forever Living, we wanted to build everything. We could build it better than anybody else, and we can do it. And that philosophy wasn't going to be successful in a short period of time. Your team would have to be massive, and even then would be following the exact same paradigm that is, in my opinion, has failed for many years in the past. So we wanted to take best-in-breed cloud-based tools and integrate them. I think we had to change our perspective. We aren't software engineers. We need to look at ourselves as technologists. If we look at ourselves as technologists, and we say, okay, we can take these cloud-based tools, use our technology skills to weave them together to provide a seamless experience for our end user, you're going to have a great experience. People are familiar with Google, they're familiar with all these different tools, but they don't want to be jumping around to 12 different systems and a different look and feel. And with the platform, we're definitely able to pull it together, and so it has a very seamless experience. Well, later in the presentation, I'll kind of do a live demo of FLP 360 and show you. You'll definitely see pieces and parts you recognize, some Salesforce, some other pieces, but at the same time to the end user, it's just one experience. And that's really what we're going for. There's 4 technologies that I really kind of want to highlight off this screen. One is Informatica Cloud Services. The other one is obviously Salesforce and Heroku and Google. So when Informatica Cloud Services is our ETL tool, that's where we're actually loading all the data from the AS4, the 61 different backend systems into Salesforce on a daily basis. And Andrew said earlier, we're loading about 22 million rows of data a day. And in a multi-level marketing world, when you make a purchase somewhere, it's really like throwing a rock into a pond. The ripples and the effects on other pieces of data throughout the organization are massive, especially as we've built these global incentives and stuff like that. Before FLP 360 existed, people got reports once a month after the month closed, and here's like, wow, you were really close, or wow, you don't know where you stand anywhere throughout the month. People are building these elaborate spreadsheets to kind of guess and kind of read the tea leaves to see where they actually were at mid-month. But with FLP 360, they can tell on a daily basis. We update the data 3 times a day from all the different systems around the world. They know where they stand, and that's really what the power of the tool has done. Moving on to Salesforce. Communities, obviously the backbone of FLP 360. FLP 360 would not be possible without communities. And you'd say, okay, you could custom build it. Yeah, you could, but not in the time frame we're talking about. If you're talking about time to market, the partnering with Salesforce and Heroku to achieve this is a must. You have to be able to partner and leverage existing tools. There's no point rebuilding the wheel. Talking about Heroku, we have a massive amount of data. I think everybody thinks they have a large amount of data in Salesforce. We have 300 gigs. And 300 gigs of data in Salesforce, when you're trying to crunch dashboard and crunch data and pull things back up to the standard UI, it times out. It just doesn't work. And so how we had to do it is we actually pipe our data over to Heroku via Heroku Connect. We crunch the data and aggregate it, then we pass it back to Salesforce in this aggregated form, and then we display it up through standard UI. We didn't want to have to customize everything to make it work. Again, we're going for speed, time to market, and this is how we're able to achieve it. Heroku Connect, just to talk about a little bit, it's a phenomenal tool. It basically took us about an hour to set up. I'm not exaggerating either. It's very easy to set up, point between the two, and it replicates our data back between a Postgres database in Heroku and Salesforce and keeps it in sync. It's almost set and forget it. Yes, there are a couple errors here or there, but when you're syncing 100 million rows of data, you're used to, hey, waking up couple times a month or a couple times a week saying, hey, this failed, we need to resync it. Even Informatica that we use, we have more errors with that. That's our problem child when it comes to it. But at the same time, Heroku is kind of set and forget it. The last one is Google, and we use Google for Google Apps and Google SSO. We want to have a single sign-on experience between whether you're in Salesforce or your Google Apps accounts. You really have one login and really provide that blended experience. You'll see when we get into the demo how we've kind of tailored Google into Salesforce as well. Jumping on to here to the next one is kind of this data. So I've kind of talked about the tools we've used and the technologies. I've talked a little bit about the challenge, but the data was also a major challenge for us. We had 61 different back-end mainframes. Everyone, they modified and changed over the course of the past 30 years. So we had to combine into a single relational schema that's optimized for Salesforce to get it in. And that was really something that's never been done. It's been tried probably a handful of times over the past 20 years, and it was something that they said, hey, and the forever world is like, this is impossible. Nobody can achieve it. We achieved the impossible again with this tool, which was really cool. That was really the point when we got the data into Salesforce in this cloud-based system. We're like, wow, now that we have all our data cloud accessible, what can we do? That's like the singularity, probably the point where we're like, wow, we can do the FLP 360. We didn't know the name at the time, but it was FLP 360 was truly born at that point. And since then,
I'm stealing that word singularity. That's for moving your data into the cloud. That's a good one.
And we'll talk at the end of the presentation. This FLP 360 is what we're talking a lot about today, but there's 5 or 6 other applications in the past 2 years that we've actually added to Salesforce. So this is really just a start, and it's getting the data there, which makes it all possible. And the last thing is having the right data. I think it's not just throwing data in there. Great, we have everything. It's you have to have timely and accurate data. If you have timely and accurate data, that's what people care about. You can have the best system in the world, and if you have bad data, doesn't mean anything. So that was our largest challenge, and I think honestly today is still one of our challenges, and it will be going forward. But that's kind of until we can migrate some of our legacy systems to some newer technologies. It's just something that we're going to work through as a company. At this point, I'm going to pass it over to Raj, where he's going to talk a little more about some of the other Salesforce technologies we're using and talk a little more about Heroku Connect.
Thank you, Seth.
No problem.
So we utilize truly an omni-channel approach when it comes to Salesforce. We use several different clouds, and they all have very, very important purposes for our organization and for our business owners. For example, we use the Sales Cloud to make very interactive and very informational dashboards for our executives and internal employees. Heroku helps us a lot with that. I'll get to that in a moment. Our Service Cloud, we have agents that can quickly solve problems, keep track of issues with cases, and have a beautiful console that they can use. Very highly customized and branded. It's a beautiful system that we've created. Our Community Cloud, very, very important, like Seth was saying. We have all of our business owners. They can use FLP 360, which is based on Communities Cloud, and see all the detailed information of their business at their fingertips, which is something that has not been done in the past. It's pretty amazing for them. So as Andrew and Seth were both saying, we have dozens of AS400 mainframes around the world in 150 different countries. And in order to get that data together, to actually send it to Salesforce, be able to analyze it, we use Informatica as our ETL tool. So we aggregate data from around the world and then transfer it into Salesforce using Informatica. And then from Salesforce, as well as Informatica, we send hundreds of millions of rows to Heroku. Anybody that's ever used Salesforce reporting knows that if you're trying to report on 1 million rows, let alone 100 million rows, then it spins forever and you hit a timeout. And so one of the really cool things we can do with Heroku Connect is we can do massive aggregations in the cloud. And so we'll take these hundreds of millions of rows and send them into Heroku, do number crunching and data transformation, and then bring back the transformed data into Salesforce in order to do some really telling dashboards and reports. That way we're not waiting forever, and We have very important information at our fingertips, and it's very quick, near real time. Heroku back and forth between Salesforce, extremely quick, and that's really important to us because we want data that's as fresh as possible. So, moving on. This is what our Heroku Connect looks like when you log in. If you take a look at, you can see that we're looking at the last 8 hours, and you can see that at 5 a.m. there's 600,000 rows. So we're talking from Salesforce to the Postgres database in Heroku. A lot going on there. And this is just a count of some objects that we're sending back and forth between the two. So you can see a lot of activity there. In total, over 100 million rows here. And that's in the last 8 hours. So pretty amazing. Here we're looking at the last 24 hours. As Seth was saying, we send data 3 times a day over to Heroku. And you can see that on the bottom row where there's 3 major chunks of data. Above that, you can see that Heroku is also talking to Salesforce. That's that blue box right there. And so we're only sending a way smaller number of rows back to Salesforce because those are the really vital, important rows that we want to report on. So that way we don't have to parse 100 million rows in order to get you relevant information. Now looking at 7 days, you can see that there's consistent daily talking back and forth on the order of 8 to 10 million rows a day to Heroku, and then coming back, we've got about 3,500 a day. So you can see what a huge amount of transformation and number crunching goes on the Heroku side. And like Seth was saying, every once in a while there are errors. That's kind of the way it is with big data. What's great about Heroku is that it's very verbose and shows you exactly what was going on at what time. And if you take a look, out of the 100 million rows we were talking about, on this day we have 30 errors. That's the high error day, and it was simply because we were changing some stuff around with Postgres. So errors are few and far between, but if they do occur, we're able to analyze very quickly. And I'm going to go ahead and give it back to Seth to show us a little bit about FLP 360.
So we're going to jump over into a live demo here. It's always a little scary, so we'll give it a whirl. If not, we have some fallback slides to go through, but it's a little more powerful to see and kind of click through it. Okay, so it's the first, kind of what I'm going to want to focus on is kind of the different integrations that are going on these pages, just so you kind of understand where we're getting the data, what's going on, and kind of how integrated it is, but still very seamless. So when you see here in the very center is my business dashboards. My business dashboards are getting the data from Heroku. So we're leveraging the Heroku data on these screens. On here, you'll see on the left-hand side, you have Salesforce. You have your Salesforce events and your Salesforce tasks. You have your recent orders, which piped in from the AS400. On the right, so you have your leads, your CRM. You can do a quick lead. Down here on the left, you'll actually see our Google integration. You'll see here, here's your Google apps, but at the same time, here's my inbox. You can actually see the last couple emails that are in my inbox. So I have one place to go to really manage my whole business. I can see my leads, I can see my orders, I can see my inbox. It's really pulled into a single place, as well as Chatter. We basically create an auto. I have this my Chatter, my groups. This is everybody in my downline. I can auto get added to it as they add to FLP 360. I can start chatting with them and talking with them. This tool is becoming a must-have tool in the business. It's, hey, if you want to do the business, great, you can do it. But if you want data and want to communicate with your teams and stuff like that, you and all your downline are jumping on this tool, and we've really seen fantastic growth here. So again, Chatter, as you can see, it's that's one of the pieces that are there. I'm going to kind of skip over the Chatter piece and jump over just to the CRM tab and kind of go from there. This is the CRM home, and on here in the CRM home, you're going to see. We logged out. Let's see, saved it. Timed out while we were waiting. Good security feature. So
we're all about trust.
Exactly. So moving on to the CRM home screen. Basically, we created this concept of a quick lead. Basically, you meet somebody really quick, whether in your mobile device, this page is completely responsive, and you can quickly add somebody. You met them in a coffee shop, or you met them walking, you tell them about the opportunity or the product. You can quickly make reference of it so you can follow up with them later. There's a more robust screen where you can add a lot more details as well. There's memory joggers to help you generate leads. You can view your recently viewed. In this section, you can see your lead pipeline. You can see how many leads do I have. They can change into warm leads, and they change into converted into distributors or customers. You can search for individuals. What's also great about this is we talked about the templated websites. So templated websites are also a funnel in. So you can enter you're out there, you have some great SEO on your site. Somebody's like, oh, I want to know more about Allo. They enter their information. Now you have a prospect that you can work on selling product to or inviting them into the business. So this is another great screen. And if you kind of look down here at the drop down, actually quickly going over, you can view your leads, you can create a lead, add a lead, and we also have an email tool where you can email out to a group of your leads as well. I'm skipping reports. Reports are a lot of standardized Salesforce reports with, again, wrapped in FOP 360, as well as some really highly custom reports will allow people to download them to download the reports to an Excel file and get really into the data. So if you're a data person, you want to get it out into Excel and drill and pivot and stuff like that, you can get your data. But at the same time, if you don't, you just want to use the tool, it's there as well. On this dashboard, I can see my performance. I can see my sales on a month-by-month basis this year to last year to see if I'm meeting my goals. I can see my recruitment numbers. So part of being in a multi-level marketing company is you need other people to join the business to have a healthy business. So don't want to just have your healthy business. It's the generations below you, the 2 generations below you, want them to be growing their business as well. So I can see here that I may be on this, it looks like I'm slacking a little bit here, and my first generation isn't very big, but my second and third generation are definitely doing the business and doing the business well. You can see top managers, and you can see productivity. Productivity is an interesting one just for me, just because it tells you the value of what one of your distributors brings to you by $1. And so if Raj makes 3 purchases for $50, but Andrew makes 1 purchase a month for $200, he adds more overall value to my business. So it's just understanding that and being able to drive from there. I'm going to I know we're getting tight on times here, so I'm going to go here really quickly. This is the first time we've ever been able to see a visual downline in our business. And you can actually pivot and down, and I chose a poor one here, but you can pivot down and go down an infinite number of generations to visualize and see all the different people, and you can see how they're doing from a volume standpoint, sales and things like that. Jump over here to my websites. My websites, this is a kind of a combination of Salesforce and AWS actually, and we're doing templated sites basically on here. You have different templated sites that you can select to up to 4, what Andrew said, and you have a quick little wizard. And as simple as creating a site here. Let's see if we'll call Seth. It'll be Seth at FLP.com. You just click next. You select a template. I'm going to select the fit template and create. At this point, it's going to go out there, and it literally creates a website just as fast as that. If I click that link, and if you have a phone and you went to FLP.com right now, you would see the website. And if you go out there, definitely sign up and under me, and I'll appreciate that. But yeah, and there's some more, and I kind of went through this at a very high level. But again, it's illustrating all the different technologies pulled together in a seamless experience. I'm going to turn over at this point, I think, to Andrew. Jump over.
I think, when we had all of the data, what we were able to do was also create an environment for our country managers, for our executives around the world. These are the people supporting our business owners in our various offices. So, as Raj and Seth, all of this aggregated data now that we're able to process, we brought some very dynamic dashboards over to the Sales Cloud instance. So now our VPs, country managers, and right on down to our regions within the country, they can now pivot on various data points. Here we have actual enrollments by month of our business owners throughout the world. It's something that we've never been able to do. It was sort of hidden in some green screen, dusty green screen in the corner of the office somewhere. And now it's right up there, front and center for our executives to be able to consume, to pivot on, to make adjustments in the business. Here's a sales dashboard here. Really gives a great overview of how sales are going. Can really see some kind of trouble spots potentially, and we can really get a nice visual of the business really throughout the world.
Let me just note here, this this really is their KPI dashboard. This is exactly what it looks like for all of the executives at Forever Living. We did put some fake graph data in, or we would be giving too much away. But the real data is extraordinarily insightful around the key KPIs, and this is just an incredibly powerful thing to have in front of all of the executives. And for all of you who are wondering if this much platform adoption is worthwhile, and if you really want to go this deep, this may be the most kind of critical thing that has happened, the big benefit for the executive team.
Absolutely.
And I just wanted to say, this dashboard is literally crunching 100 million records. So when you're looking at this, if you had a dashboard in standard Salesforce, it would never run. So this is where we're using our aggregated data again from Heroku, passing it back into Salesforce, and using this standard Salesforce API or user interface to surface it up. And we have drop downs here to be able to, we can pivot, as you see, from region to country. So we just pivoted to Europe down to GBR. And all these dashboards can pivot all the way down to a regional level. So it's pretty powerful. Sorry, Andrew.
And so one of the other things that, as Margaret was saying about our KPIs, historically our VPs at the home office would get our country managers to collate this data in Excel form. We call it our 4 core: recruitment, retention, productivity, and so on. And here we can see the dashboard. Now they're able to just literally look at any given moment, update it on a daily basis, actually multiple times a day. And these spreadsheets are really a thing of the past. It's really been fantastic, been able to save a bunch of time. So we're really thankful for our partnership with Salesforce and Heroku. It's really helped us to leapfrog many years of technical debt, and we feel we're on a good pace now to really take Forever into the next generation through mobile apps and other innovations that Seth's going to talk about here briefly.
And so we talked a lot about FLP 360, but FLP 360 was the enabler. That got us going, got all our data there. We needed it there for that, but what other things can we do now that our data is there? And I kind of talk about some of the other things. We have a Discover Forever, a digital sales app that is for iPads. You're able to download videos and download presentations on your iPad and in an offline format. So wherever you're at, if you're meeting somebody on a coffee shop or a bus, and you're like, hey, come over here, let me tell you about this. I need to get Wi-Fi to show you this. You have it with you wherever you're at. This interfaces with Heroku and basically is the back end for this, as well as we then pipe the usage data over into a Salesforce, and we actually have a very nice dashboard. So we can see the utilization by country, by distributor, by what content they're using to make sure we have fresh data. I'm moving on here we have Agent Portal and some marketing sites. We have a site called vitalscience.org where we talk about the scientific studies that we do. That's hosted on Visualforce, and it's a publicly facing site, so check it out. If you're interested, it actually is knowledge base. It's branded knowledge base. If you go through it, you'd never understand. With our partners Groundswell, we did that in about 2 weeks. The rate that we can iterate on the platform is phenomenal. But what's even cooler about that, I think that site is we have dashboards within Salesforce where we have the usage data that we're able to actually see what people are not searching for. Or I should say, what they're searching for and not finding. And then we're able to modify our content to really provide a better experience for our users. Before, those get buried in different reports, maybe Google Analytics that only the IT team sees or whatever. Now the business has a dashboard they can look at and they can manage it themselves.
Talk about the precision enterprise.
Absolutely.
Very nice.
Agent Portal is Service Cloud. We basically have a completely branded Service Cloud. I think there's probably a better UI and a better user experience than FLP 360 is on Service Cloud. It's about reducing call time. It's about giving the agents what they need at the click of a button. It's making intuitive calls for them depending on where they're at, who they're talking to. And the Service Cloud is great. Could we do this without Service Cloud? Yeah, it would take us a year plus, 15 plus people to do it.
I think also just to interject, our ability to bring in all the incentive information. So when our agents are receiving calls and people are asking, where am I at on this? Again, we're leveraging the platform and bringing that incentive data in. So another great use case.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's our last one real quick is this year we released a FLP 360 mobile app. Although FLP 360 itself was completely responsive, people like apps. And we basically built an app, and it's mirrors very much the same functionality you saw on the site, a little less, but you can be in the power of your hand. You can pull up your app, you can add a lead, you can view your downline, you can do pretty much everything except creating websites from the mobile app, and it's been wildly successful on multiple platforms.
You know, we too at Salesforce have noted that popularity of apps thing.
Yeah.
You may have noticed.
Absolutely. It's basically the same information, but people like apps.
I was emailing back and forth last day or so with one of our top leaders in the world. She's really had explosive growth, and she said she just uses the app exclusively now. So, it's been an excellent tool for us.
We love to hear that.
Yeah.
And we actually love to hear from all of you. We're close up to the end. We have very little time, but if there's any questions, we probably have time for one or two. And of course, these fantastic gentlemen will probably be here for another 10 minutes if you have questions after the session. But
Absolutely.
Anything from the audience before we go ahead and wrap things up? I see one, this gentleman here.
We use SQL, and there's a little Java app that we wrote.
Thank you all so much for coming. And I encourage you to come stop by and treat as a fantastic resource for the next few minutes these other Salesforce platform customers, because they have a lot of wisdom to share. Thank you.